Hey friends, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name's Katie if you're new here, and I have too many nail polishes and I'm trying to fix that. So I'm doing my second update for my project polish, and I've been kind of doing these sporadically depending on when I feel like I have enough progress that it's worth doing an update. And I finished a polish a couple weeks ago and I've gotten a couple more uses out of the other polishes in my rotation, so I thought, let's sit down, let's talk about it, and let's roll something else in just so I get a little bit more variety. So I'm doing this in the style of Christina Chang, where I have 3 polishes in at a time and I'm working on them until I either finish them or hit a usage goal. Now I have a bunch of older polishes that I'm trying to finish, so my goal on a lot of these is to finish rather than use them 10 uses and roll them out. So the last update I was working on these 3. So we've got Ocean Breeze from Revlon, Gold Coin from Revlon, and Merino Cool from Essie. So my least used was Gold Coin by Revlon, and I've used this once. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep this. Because this is a foil polish, it dries quickly, but it's also really hard to remove. So I wanted to test it out and see how it removed with acetone and then decide whether or not I was going to keep it based on that. And the verdict is that this does come off decently with acetone, so we are going to keep this for now, but I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it. I have noticed that some of the pieces, like I don't know if they're like glitter or what in here, are starting to sort of clump together, and I'm getting a little bit of clumpiness, for lack of a better word. So I could definitely tell that this one is getting older and needs more usage. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this, but for right now I am going to keep it in. So I used this one time since the last update, which was not stellar. I was hoping for a little bit more than that, but we'll talk about the one that I finished and then I think you'll understand why. So this hasn't really moved. The lower Sharpie mark is where I was as of the last update, and there hasn't really been significant movement. I might be a little bit lower, but not a whole lot of movement, but we are going to keep this one in. So next up I have Ocean Breeze by Revlon. So this is what I'm wearing today, and so this is a lovely sort of shimmery blue, very mermaid appropriate, and so I've used this 3 times since the last update for 5 uses total, and this has moved. When I marked it with nail polish, I kind of covered up the last one, but it was sort of up to about here. You can see a little bit of pink poking out, and now it's down to here, so I've used a little bit of it. Every time I use this, I use 3 coats, which is helping me go through it a little bit quicker. This is also not super opaque in 2, so 3, it's not an obligate 3-coater, but 3 coats definitely helps. So I've really been enjoying this. It's not a color that I would normally wear, but it's kind of fun and it's great on the toenails. So I think that's what I'm going to continue having this on my toes, basically from now until I finish it. I was planning on Ocean Breeze being my focus for this next round, but that didn't happen, and we'll talk about why that didn't happen, and that's because of Merino Cool. So I rolled this in last update. So when I rolled this in, I had just revived it with a bunch of nail polish thinner, and so I've used this 7 times, and it's now empty. So it's gone from about here, now down to about here. There is a little bit left, but it's very thick and it's very hard to get out. So the last couple of times I've used this, it's been a real struggle. So we are going to call this one an empty, which I'm excited about. So my initial plan as of my last update was to focus on trying to finish Ocean Breeze as quickly as possible, and I did obviously do a little bit of a pivot and switch to trying to finish Merino Cool instead. So the reason for that was that when I brought in Merino Cool, I had just thinned it out, and I don't know what it is about where I live, but for some reason nail polish thinner isn't really a standard drugstore item here, so it's something that if I want it, I have to order it online. So I'm trying to make my 2-ounce bottle last as long as humanly possible because I don't know where to get it in stores here. So it's kind of a rare commodity, and I'm trying to make it last as long as possible. And so what I noticed about Merino Cool is that even though I thinned it out to the point where it was very fluid when I brought it in, the next time I used it, I could tell that it was thickening up. And so I figured if I kept this in, I was going to have to add 5 to 6 drops of nail polish thinner every single time I used it, and I would run through that a lot more quickly. So I figured we'll just make the most of the thinning that I've already done and just try to work through this as quickly as possible. I did have to thin it out a couple times in between, but yeah, 7 more uses and it is done. So I am pretty happy to have this one out. I really enjoyed this color, but I've had this for a while and I have a bunch of sort of partially finished bottles that I'm trying to get through. So this is definitely another one. So I finished 2 polishes in this project so far, which I'm really happy about. And because Merino Cool is finished, that means that I get to bring something else in. So I was kind of looking through my collection because I own a lot of dark nail polishes, and I was like, what do I have that's summer appropriate that I'm less likely to reach for once I'm back in a classroom? And I think that if you've watched a couple of my videos and you're familiar with my style, you might have guessed that Essie Guilty Pleasures is not something that I'm particularly comfortable with. Now, I didn't buy this for myself, this was a gift, and I don't really have anybody in my life who I would be able to re-gift this to or pass this along to. So I've been sort of using this, and I do like using it throughout the summer, but I'm just not really a bright pink nail polish type of girl. And every time I wear this, I like it for like 3 days and then I want to take it off. So I'm not going to try to finish this one right now because obviously I haven't used it a ton. It's still quite fluid. So obviously if you look at where I am, I haven't used this a whole lot, but it's definitely still thin enough that it's usable. So I'm going to put this in and I'm going to give myself a goal of 10 uses, and then I can sort of reassess if I want to keep it in or roll it out and bring something else in. I think by the time I get to 10 uses, realistically, it's probably going to be fall, and I have another polish picked out that I'll want to bring in once we hit September, October. So that is going to stay in, and I feel like my new trio is very sort of summer appropriate. Like, I'm not mad at this at all. So let's talk about my goals for the next round. Now that I'm done with Merino Cool and I don't have to worry about that thickening up again and just running through a bunch of nail polish thinner in order to make that usable, I am going to switch my focus back to Ocean Breeze. I would like to have this finished. I don't know how long this is going to take. This is going to sound weird, but I've kind of rediscovered that I have toenails, and what I mean by that is that under normal circumstances, I run 4 to 5 days a week. And when you run half marathon kind of mileage, your toenails take quite a beating, and so putting nail polish on your toes feels kind of futile. And I've been off with an injury for a while, and I'm still likely to be off with an injury for the foreseeable future. So I think we're just going to make this sort of like my regular toenail polish and then use it on my nails every couple of weeks. So, and then we'll just sort of see how long it takes to get through that way. But I mean, I've made pretty decent progress on this since starting. Like, I think when I started this project, it was like up to here. So I've definitely used a good, like, I would say quarter of it. So I think it is going to be possible to finish this. I haven't noticed significant thickening either. So it is still very fluid and usable. So I think we're just going to focus on this and try to sort of rotate through everything evenly. And I'll just keep on using this on my toenails as well as sometimes on my fingers, and we'll see how it goes. So this has been a fairly short but sweet update. Before I head out, I just wanted to check in with like my numbers of polishes. So having said this, I know I said in my intro I have too many polishes. I have too many polishes for me. Your mileage obviously might vary. For me, I prefer to have a more curated collection of most things, nail polish, makeup, what have you. So I'm personally trying to pare down my collection a little bit. So I haven't bought any new polishes, and I've finished up one, so I am still at 14 nail polishes, including base and top coat. So that hasn't really changed. I don't know if I'll have another empty by the next update. We'll just sort of see how things go. Realistically, I probably won't have any empties by the next update, but I would like to have some decent progress on everything that I have in my current trio and just try to rotate through everything and enjoy things and have a little bit of fun. That has been the update. So finished a polish. I finished 2 polishes in this project overall, which is pretty decent. And I am going to obviously try to keep that going. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to have an empty by the next update. I really don't want to continue doing the thing where I try really hard to finish one thing and then everything else gets neglected. I think because I still have like a decent amount in pretty much everything. So I think for the next update, whenever that is, the goal is going to be focus on everything and try to rotate things through evenly rather than just focusing on one shade and sort of ignoring the rest of them to try to finish one thing. So I think the goal for the next update is going to be to pretty much always have Ocean Breeze on my toes, and then I can get some pretty decent use out of it that way. I would like to have at least 3 uses on Guilty Pleasures, and I think I would also like to have 2 to 3 uses on Gold Coin and see how many I can get out of Ocean Breeze altogether. So hopefully I'll have a little bit more even progress on everything by the next update, and then hopefully by that point too I'll be able to sort of guesstimate when I might be able to realistically finish Ocean Breeze, because that is definitely next up on the list of things that I want to finish. So I think that is pretty much going to wrap it up for this one. I hope you enjoyed. If you're doing this project, let me know how yours is going. How many of you finished up? What are you working on for the summer? What are your favorite summer nail polishes? That is also a question. So if you haven't already subscribed and you want to see more of my face, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I upload new beauty videos every Tuesday and Saturday, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!